What do you want to talk about? Hey everyone, how's it going? We've got some minor news as of Tuesday. It was pretty easy to miss, but you might have heard that Microsoft has bought Activision Blizzard. Like the whole thing. So let's talk about it. So the deal itself, in case any of you weren't aware, is this. Microsoft has bought Activision Blizzard King, otherwise known as ABK, for $68.7 billion with a B dollars. This is a number so large that the 0.7 at the end actually matters. Because the deal is so large, it's going to have to be approved by federal regulators and is expected to pass and for the deal to close sometime in the middle of 2023, just 18 short months from now. At least I hope they're short. The deal will make Microsoft and Xbox the third largest gaming companies in the world, behind Tencent at number 1 and Sony at number 2. Now, ABK has a ton of game IPs, but the one we care about most here is Call of Duty. So how is this going to affect COD? Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, but from the outside perspective, we're not going to see any change for a long time. Because the deal isn't expected to close until 2023, the first game under the Xbox name will be the next Treyarch title in Q4 of 2023, but the only part of that game that will be developed under Microsoft is the last 6 months, which obviously won't change much. Because that game will be developed almost entirely under the old regime, it will either be Infinity Ward's title in 2025 or the next Treyarch title in 2026, or the game will be developed entirely under Xbox management. Keep in mind that the games in between then will give Microsoft's management team much more time to make changes as they see fit, since they're not releasing until much later. Of course, that's all assuming that Xbox doesn't make any dramatic changes to the way COD is run. They could scrap yearly releases if they want, they can completely shut down COD and force everyone to play Halo if they want. They can do anything they want with COD because they own it, just like Activision could do anything they wanted with COD since they owned it at the time. I doubt we'll see any major changes up front since a lot of work is already being done on these next couple of games. By the time this deal goes through, the next Infinity Ward game should almost be done and the next Treyarch game should be halfway through development, with Sledgehammer starting to work on their next title. Speculating on this kind of a thing is usually pointless, but I will say that given what Microsoft is doing with Halo Infinite, I wouldn't be surprised if they take COD in a similar direction. But what about the industry at large? Most of us already think this is going to be great for COD, but will this be great for the industry as a whole? I'm not sure. On the positive side, if Microsoft manages ABK studios better than ABK itself, it's going to make working at those studios far more appealing. For a lot of people, working at one of ABK's studios was an automatic no-go, whereas now that might not be the case. On the negative side, if the industry gets more and more consolidated, there's going to be less opportunity for movement for developers. They'd either have to rely on new studios starting up or forming one themselves to find work outside of the ecosystem. On a related note, some people are wondering whether this is considered a monopoly. I'm not an expert, but I don't believe it is. After this deal, Microsoft will own a ton of intellectual property, but there's still plenty of alternatives. If you don't like the Xbox, you can get a PlayStation, a PC, or even a Nintendo Switch. If you don't like the games Microsoft puts out, other developers will make different games. Nothing's stopping new studios from forming, and there's still plenty of alternatives within each respective genre of game already out there. So I doubt the deal won't go through on those grounds, and the deal probably wouldn't have been made if they didn't think it would go through, so take that for what it's worth. The final question worth touching on is, what does this mean for the A Better ABK movement and all of the other controversies and lawsuits surrounding Activision? And good news for the employees, I highly doubt Microsoft will be nearly as toxic as Activision was. The fact they've already publicly said how disgusted they were with the culture at ABK should be a pretty clear indication of that, so we'll know pretty quickly if that was just virtue signaling to the public or if the employees are actually going to be treated well. I have no idea if Microsoft will allow their employees to unionize at various studios or given to any of A Better ABK's other demands. We'll have to wait and see. The other positive for A Better ABK is that all signs point to Activision CEO and notorious scumbag Bobby Kotick being ousted from his role as soon as the deal is closed. Nothing's been confirmed in this regard, but it doesn't seem like he'll be sticking around, which is obviously a good thing. One downside is because a lot of the executives who are at fault for the state of ABK have a lot of money invested in their own stocks as part of their salary, and when the deal was announced, the company's stock skyrocketed. So they'll be leaving their tenure with an undeserved bonus in my opinion. It's just how the world works sometimes, but hey, at least they're gone. One other thing worth noting is that the lawsuits filed by the state of California and others aren't going away as a result of this deal, which means Microsoft is inheriting a pretty terrible situation. Hopefully the law will punish those who are actually responsible, but again, we'll have to wait and see. But those are just my thoughts. Of course, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I usually don't upload full videos on Friday, so if you happen to miss any of my other stuff I put out this week, I'll have links to them here. I of course have this week's mini map review on Shi No Numa, and on Tuesday I uploaded a video arguing that games shouldn't release in the fourth quarter, which I thought was very interesting. So go check out either of those videos, like and subscribe, and I'll see you there. Take care.